Huh? Five Nights at Freddy's security breach. The 13th? Seriously, 13. I had to Google to check. Entry in this long-running series started by Scott Cawthon, which exploded in popularity due in no small part to its massive community that was garnered here on YouTube, through the likes of MatPat, Markiplier, Dawko, Razbowski, and the Living Tombstones. Most of the game's previous entries can be kinda crudely described as a slideshow of jump scares by the uninitiated.
Right. Extra noses pounces on you. Ooh.
And while jump scares in the horror genre can get a pretty harsh rap from feeling mostly unearned or cheated,
Chicken.
FNAF always treated those jump scares as a punishment for failure, so they'd always got a pass from me in that regard. However, Security Breach is a beast of a much different nature. In fact, I have to be honest, this game really wowed me. I've been kind of keeping an eye out for it whenever I remembered to, but with the game's delay, it sort of just slipped my radar, right up until I noticed the game had actually released, at which point I swiftly snagged a copy of the game and got to downloading at a cool, uncool, 80 gigs. It was a hell of a download. Previous FNAF games ranged from a couple hundred megabytes to a gig or two, but if anything, this should just be an indicator of just how big this game is in comparison to its predecessors. Now, before I go on too much, we should really address the animatronic in the room.
Hi there.
Because, I mean, look at this boy. How can you not love Glamrock Freddy? He's the perfect father figure right here. Isn't he just... Freddy? Freddy, you good? Champ? Buddy? Freddy, please! I'll pick up my Legos, just respect the fabric of our reality, please! This game's got a bunch of bugs. Like, a lot. And I really hope by the time you're watching this video, most of these have already been ironed out, patched, or set on fire and buried out back. Steelwool Studios are a pretty small team with a lot of love for the franchise, choosing to go very above and beyond what most of the fans, and hell, even Scott himself, really expected with this game. Like I mentioned before, the game seriously wowed me, even when it frustrated me at the same time, just because of how different it felt from the other entries in the series. It reminded me more of a Resident Evil game with its puzzles and weapons, I mean, if you can call them that.
I cannot see. Why though?
Its branching paths, multiple endings, hell, I think it honestly more impressed me than Resident Evil 8. I'm not saying that Resident Evil 8 is bad or anything, but I just want to stress how much of this game just had me going, oh my god, this is amazing. And Resident Evil 8 was kind of bad. There, I said it. The point I'm getting at here is, even with the bugs you're seeing here, or have no doubt seen over YouTube and the likes of Twitter, just give it a chance, alright? It's a lot of fun. I see a lot of complaints from people saying they just wanted another point-and-click horror game in the style of the previous entries, and while I'll die on my hill of saying fixed camera angle and Resident Evil games are the best in the series, I honestly think this is an awesome direction for FNAF to take. Like, just look at the Steam hours you've spent playing the first 4 games of Five Nights at Freddy's. They really don't take long to best, a couple of hours per game, and while they're very rich in lore and fun to talk about with other fans of the series, they don't really have a lot of reason to replay them. Whereas Security Breach has, what, 6 different endings? That's wild! Though, I do have a few minor complaints that I would like to get out there, as well as some tips on how I overcame some of those moments in the game that, absolutely stumped me. The first you've probably seen, because I pushed out a video as soon as I worked out of a cheeky skip for the puzzle, was the mazer-size segment. Good god, that was not visually clear. I tried following a Steam guide after poking buttons aimlessly with no success, only for that to, well, obviously not work for me. Then when I got to the entrance, the vent was blocked by one lonely wall. I managed to cheese the collision by jump crouching through, which you can actually do to get into a lot of places in Security Breach that you aren't supposed to. The second, though actually technically the first in the game that I actually got flummoxed on, was the navigating the daycare to switch on all of the generators. You can't really get in much exploring without the daycare animatronic plopping you back where you first started, and the minute you take the security card, you know, he gets a little... But the thing that helped me navigate it was following the power cords into the playground structures. So there's one generator on the left building and 4 on the right. None in the surrounding areas where, in my panic, I searched a couple of times over. A good strategy I found was starting on the right structure and knocking out 2 of the generators, then crossing the bridge on the upper level over to the left structure, flipping that generator, taking the slide down to the floor, then running back and up the right structure's slide, and, well, after a few attempts, I had it down pat. And lastly, the ending segment of the game. Now, avoiding spoilers as best as I can makes this a little tricky to explain, but in the ending segment of the game, you will encounter a choice. Either end the game there and take the ending you're due, or play on. Now, should you choose to play on, you will lose access to the save terminals in the game. I think this choice was made to add pressure to the game, but honestly, I died so many times and lost so much progress here due to either bugs, crashes, or some very sensitive checks that I misclicked on, which can be very disheartening to experience. Though there is something that can make this easier. I was reading through a Reddit post of someone experiencing the same frustrations, when 2 users actually, SnooGadgets4547 and Sir Kajuju, pointed out that if you return up to the Roxy's Raceway section, the event for picking up the dummy head has been reset. This allows you to recollect the head, which tricks the game timer into thinking it's 5:15 again, which means the save terminals will be online again. This glitch doesn't affect anything else, at least not that I could notice in the game, but it meant that I could freely zip around and collect the final collectibles and not be trembling at just interacting with the Princess Quest cabinets, in fear of them leading to another Unreal Engine crash, which happened to me twice beforehand. So, if you're struggling in the final stretch, I hope this bit of information helped you as much as it helped me. So, yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's is a series that I love, and I think Security Breach is a great new member of the animatronic animal family. The game is good. Buggy, yes, but good. It's got a fun sense of humor, some genuinely creepy moments here and there, and if you're a big fan of the deeper FNAF lore and theories, there's a lot of stuff to be found, and some pretty cool revelations depending on the ending you get. Though we'll keep this video spoiler-free, given it's a quick take. I would recommend playing Help Wanted if you haven't first though, as this game is somewhat of a continuation of the events in that game. Or hell, just watch a YouTuber play it through. Anyway, until next time everyone, spooky jump scare, blah!
You're a terminated fucker.